So if you are watching this video, chances are that you are aware that Borussia Dortmund are looking at renewing the contracts of Otto Addo, who happens to be the head coach of the Black Stars. In today's edition of Explainer, we're going to look into the details of that contract, what that even means for Otto Addo, for Dortmund and also Ghana, and his chances of leading us as we go on. My name is Delali Frankauti, and welcome to today's edition of Explainer. Don't go anywhere. So there's been reports that Borussia Dortmund wants to renew the contracts of their trainer scout, Otto Addo. Otto Addo has done a brilliant job with the developments of Borussia Dortmund's talent, and he has, to his credit, a lot of players that has come out of the Borussia Dortmund academy, and most famous among them is Erling Haaland. Although Erling Haaland joined them as a striker, he was still one that was growing. Then Otto Addo worked on him. I'm saying this because Haaland himself admitted that Otto Addo had played a huge role in his development. So there's no doubt that Dortmund knows how great Otto Addo is and the kind of job he has been doing for them. But in today's video, we are going to look at why Dortmund wants to renew his contract at this particular point, what that means for Dortmund themselves, what that means for Otto Addo himself, and also his chances of being the Black Stars head coach. Mind you that Otto Addo himself will be leading Black Stars for Qatar 2022, and basically that's why his contract ends. So let's talk about Dortmund first and what it means for them. So Borussia Dortmund themselves know the kind of job Otto Addo has done. If you look at Otto Addo, he's one of the managers that has potential of being the head coach or the first team coach of Borussia Dortmund. He's a legend of the club. That's a fair point. He has worked with the club for quite a long time. Since 2017, he has been with the club. He understands the club. He's basically an investment of the club. He's one of the people that the club has really invested in, that they are looking at seeing him go ahead to be the head coach. They've not basically given him that opportunity to lead the team until Ghana gave him the opportunity to lead us. He came as the head coach of the Black Stars and surprisingly qualified us to the World Cup. Proved to everybody that he can also be a good manager, even if his job is just to train talent and make them good. So now Dortmund have realized another side of him, that hey, this man has that ability to coach a team and qualify a whole national team to the World Cup. He becomes a valuable asset to Dortmund. For Dortmund, Otto Addo's contract ends this year. It's around December, his contract is going to come to an end. They don't want, at this point, Otto Addo is also going to the World Cup. Mind you, when he came to coach the Black Stars, he was not known. Nobody even knew what he could do. He came to coach the Black Stars, he took a gamble, and he qualified us to the national team. So there's a possibility, who knows, that he takes us to the World Cup and he ends up going to the semi-finals. When Ghana was going to the World Cup in 2010, nobody gave us a chance of making it to the quarterfinals. But we went all the way to the quarterfinals. So it's possible that with the kind of quality that Ghana has, I'm not saying we will, it's possible that we can find ourselves in the top 4 of the World Cup. And at that point, Otto Addo will become a hot kid. Even if he will not stay as the head coach of the Black Stars, teams will come after him. National teams, clubs will come after him. At that point, he will be more powerful. And if he's coming back to the table to renegotiate with Dortmund at that period, it will be very difficult for Dortmund to give him for Dortmund to have a better deal. So now they want to do that even before he goes to the World Cup, because anything he can also go to the World Cup and fail, and Ghana will end up sacking him. You come back to do so. It's 50-50 now for Dortmund, and they want to do it at this period, the moments when the chips are in their favor. At this period, I would say that Dortmund are still in control of Otto Addo's movements, because if you look at it, he can go to the World Cup and will not have a good chance. So for Dortmund, they want to do it at the moment when they are when you want to bargain with anybody. You do it at the point when things are in your favor. So that's what Dortmund want to do. What does this mean for Otto Addo himself? I think Otto Addo might sign the contract even before going to the World Cup. This is it. The fact that he's basically unwilling to leave the Dortmund job permanently and come and coach the Black Stars tells you that he knows that the Black Stars is not a stable job. Being the head coach of the national team is not a stable job. He's a young manager, his first time even being in charge of a full team. So he knows that if things go worse or things do not go as planned, Otto Addo might lose his job. And assuming he has said goodbye to the Dortmund job, which is job security, he doesn't lose if Dortmund fails to win the title. If Dortmund goes on 10 games without losing, he does not get sacked because his job is not basically direct relation with the player. His job is not direct with the first team. So the first team performance does not affect him. So he has a secure job. He knows that coming to coach the national team, no matter the amount you receive and the pride in it, it's not a secure job. We appointed Coach Milo, and he left just by losing games in the African Cup of Nations. Like being a national team coach, you can easily lose the job. In as much as being a coach, you end up losing your job easily. And it's not like that when it comes to the national team. Just 2 games, if you are bad, you are out. So Otto Addo, he knows that. He's a young manager. He has a future at Dortmund. Dortmund has invested in him and is that loyal to the club. He also looks at himself and says that no, if I give myself 2-3 years, I stand a bigger chance of coaching Dortmund, or perhaps even moving away from just a trainer scout to the first team assistant coach or the first team coach. He's a young coach. I'm not saying he's a young man, but he's a young coach when it comes to coaching. He's young, he's not building his career, and he's not ready to take a gamble on a national team like Ghana. If it's France, Brazil, you know that at least they can compete at highest level when you have the quality already. Now he's building a team. To take that gamble and come and build a team to the World Cup, to the African Cup of Nations is too huge for him. So for Otto Addo, this is why he still wants to keep the Dortmund job and still do the Black Stars job part-time. So now let's talk about what it means for Ghana. You know, Otto Addo was initially appointed to just play the 2 games, the 2 qualifiers between Nigeria. He displayed brilliant tactical mind game and we qualified. And then from the president said he wants to keep the 4 men, Otto Addo, Didi Dramani, George Boateng, and Chris Hughton. He wants to keep that squad for the World Cup. That's good. But one thing about that is that the 3 managers, the 4 people that I've mentioned, apart from Chris Hughton, the rest have a permanent job. They are all contracted by private. Didi Dramani works with Right to Dream, George Boateng, Aston Villa, and the head coach, which is Otto Addo, who works with Borussia Dortmund. So these are people that have their permanent job, and Otto Addo happens to be one of them. The Black Stars national team job, as a lot of Ghanaians say, cannot permanently be given to a part-time coach, because in as much as Otto Addo has been very brilliant with it, after the World Cup, I don't think we would love to have him as a part-time coach. I don't think the national team would love to have a coach who doubles as a worker of Borussia Dortmund. And I don't think there will be a point that Borussia Dortmund will even be happy with that. Because in as much as the national team job and the head coach job does not come often, we are in a different situation, a situation where we just have a tournament to go and play and later come and rebuild. If you are rebuilding a national team, giving it to a part-time coach will not be something that will Ghanaians be ready to do that. That's the first question we should ask ourselves. 2, if we want to keep Otto Addo as the head coach, are we ready to be willing to still have faith in him if things do not go well? Because trust me, if Otto Addo becomes the head coach now, assuming he renews his contract with Dortmund and he's still balancing after the World Cup, he performs well at the World Cup and we still try to keep him, and after the World Cup goes to the African Cup of Nations and we don't perform well, we will come back and come and say that, is this man really interested in working for us? So these are questions that we have to ask ourselves. And for Ghana, it has a huge impact on whether this man can be with us and be the head coach of the Black Stars as we move forward. Because are you ready to give your national team? I'm asking this question to everybody. Are we ready to give our national team to a coach who will not be active in the country, be around, help us build? If you ask me, I would say that Otto Addo working with Dortmund and his role, which helps gives him the chance to work with young talents, it really helps him to develop our players and find their best right position. Example is Gideon Mensah. Otto Addo is gradually giving a confidence to the young man that not every coach will see it, because Otto Addo himself has been involved with young talents. But can it continue forever? Can we have him work for Dortmund and Ghana in the next 2 years if that happens? These are the questions we need to ask ourselves. So this is a good move for Dortmund and Otto Addo himself. But for Ghana, it puts us in a position where we need to make a lot of decisions at this point. If Otto Addo renews his contract, then it's obvious and it's clear that he's willing to work for us, but he would love to keep the two jobs and juggle between. Are we ready to do that? That's a question for another day. But let me know what you also think. Do you think he should renew his contract with Dortmund and just concentrate on Dortmund after the World Cup? Do you think we should just, if he goes to the World Cup and performs well with the national team and takes us to the African Cup of Nations, and he proves that he can do the Dortmund and also the Black Stars job, we should just keep it and let him go? Or for you, you don't care, you want a national team coach who will come to Ghana, stay in Ghana and work with us? Let me know what you also think in the comment section. But until we meet again, my name is Delali Frank. Bye bye for now.